Well, well, look who finally crawled out the shadows. Ain't you a sight for sore, trembling eyes? You feel that? That tightness in your chest, that twitch in your jaw. That's not fear. Nah, that's recognition. That's the part of you that spent years hiding, finally realizing it ain't hidden anymore. They saw you, the real you, and now they're shook, spooked, disturbed. Why? Because everything they thought you were was a damn lie. They thought you were soft, thought you were fragile, thought you'd break the second things got messy. They saw the smile, the quiet, the calm, and assumed you were harmless. You let 'em. You wore the costume. You played along. You did the dance. But deep down, you knew that thing sitting inside your chest was not meant for peace. It was never silence. It was a goddamn war drum. And now the mask cracked. They caught a glimpse. And oh boy, they ain't sleeping tonight. Because the truth is ugly. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't fit in a neat little quote on Instagram. The truth is, you've been bleeding in silence, surviving in chaos, turning trauma into fuel. You don't walk through hell. You live there. You don't avoid the darkness. You became it. See, people love to say, just be yourself. Until they meet you. Until they meet the version of you that doesn't apologize. The one that doesn't shrink. The one that says, nah, I'm not explaining myself to people who never give a damn anyway. And suddenly, you're too much. Too cold. Too intense. Too real. No. You're just not soft enough to be digested easily. You don't melt on their tongue like sugar. You burn straight through their gut, like gasoline. And that's the part they never expected. They never thought the quiet one would bite back. They never imagined the broken one would rebuild themselves out of razor wire and vengeance. But here you are. No mask, no filter, no pretense, just raw, real, ugly power. You want to know why they're terrified? It's not just that they saw you. It's that they can't unsee you now. They know you'll never go back to pretending. They know the switch flipped. They know you ain't gonna be the one who backs down anymore. They know you're capable of things they wouldn't survive. And deep down, they envy it. They envy your ability to carry that much pain and still keep walking. To be hated and still stand taller. To be underestimated and still over-deliver. To be seen and still not shrink. You get that, right? You're not weak for being hated. You're not wrong for being misunderstood. You're not broken for being complex. You're just not digestible. You're not marketable. You're not the pretty version of pain that people can clap for and move on. You're the version that makes people uncomfortable. That forces them to question their whole perception of survival. And maybe that's the point. Maybe you were never supposed to be liked. Maybe your existence is a confrontation, a reminder that the world can't bury everything it fears. You're not the villain. You're not the hero. You're the reckoning. And if people gotta tremble when they say your name, so be it. They had their shot to love you when you were gentle. They didn't. Now they'll learn to respect you while you're lethal. Because let's be honest, you didn't come this far just to be understood. You came this far to be unapologetically unstoppable. They talk about you now, huh? Whispers, side eyes, nervous laughs. Because once people see the real you, the version that doesn't flinch anymore, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to label it. Too loud, too dark, too real, too damn awake for their comfort. Because you stopped dressing your wounds up pretty. You stopped watering yourself down so other people wouldn't drown. You stopped showing up palatable, and now they're panicking because you didn't just stop pretending. You snatched the curtain down and lit that stage on fire. Now every room you walk into, you don't need to announce yourself. They feel it. They feel the shift, the tension, the oh no, they're not playing anymore. And guess what? That version of you, the one they said was too angry, too cold, too intense, that version is the reason you're still alive. That's the version that got you through nights you didn't think you'd survive. That's the version that crawled through the wreckage when no one came looking. That's the version that took every betrayal, every loss, every insult, and used it as a stepping stone. You didn't collapse, you evolved, and now you walk like someone who's seen the worst and kept receipts. They don't fear the surface of you, they fear the depth, because they know there's miles of story behind that stare. Chapters they can't handle, truths they can't digest, and you're done translating your pain into something that makes them comfortable. Because look around, all these people trying to keep it together, walking on eggshells, curating their image like their brands. But you're the real thing, raw, unfiltered, scarred, alive, and yeah, it's not pretty. It's not a soft focus montage with hopeful music. It's not neat. It's not marketable. It's not what they wanted, but it's yours, and it's real, and that scares the hell out of them, because once people see someone who doesn't need permission to be themselves, someone who doesn't chase validation, who doesn't play nice, who doesn't ask to be understood, they realize how much of their own life is a damn performance. You remind them of everything they ran from, every truth they buried, every dream they downsized just to fit in. And they hate you for it. They hate you because deep down they wish they had your fire, your refusal to fold, your ability to take pain and make it weaponry. You didn't just survive, you became a threat. Not because you hurt people, but because you refused to let people keep hurting you, because you stopped apologizing for existing. So now they're shook? Good. Let them be. You're not here to soothe their ego. You're not here to be digestible. You're here to take up space like you were always meant to. You didn't walk through hell to come back holding hands and passing out hugs. You came back with a flame in your eyes and a spine made of every no they threw at you. You know what's wild? The same people that said, "You've changed," are the same ones who benefited from your silence. They were never scared of who you were. They were scared of who you were about to become. Because back then, you were manageable, predictable. You second-guessed yourself. You held your tongue. You made yourself small just to keep the peace in rooms that didn't even deserve your presence. And now, you walk in with your spine straight, eyes locked, aura heavy, and suddenly they can't breathe right. They act like they don't know what happened, like it came out of nowhere, like this version of you was born overnight. But nah. This version was forged in every sleepless night you laid in bed thinking you were the problem, forged in every fake smile you gave to keep from unraveling, forged in every moment you swallowed your rage because they couldn't handle your truth. They don't realize this ain't you losing your mind. This is you finally picking it up, piece by piece, from every breakdown, every betrayal, every moment you stared at the floor, wondering why no one ever showed up when you needed saving. But here you are, still breathing, still standing, still choosing to walk like a weapon they should have never handed freedom to. Let me break it to you. They were never gonna clap for your evolution. They only loved you when you were digestible, when you were soft-spoken, agreeable, invisible. But now you speak with fire. Now you show up with scars you don't cover anymore. Now you walk like your shadow's carrying a body count. And guess what? They can't handle it. You became everything they said you shouldn't. Too loud, too blunt, too honest, too damn free. And you know what scares people more than anything? Someone who doesn't need their approval to exist. You don't chase claps anymore. You don't shrink to be chosen. You don't edit your truth so it fits into someone else's comfort zone. You've outgrown their narrative. You've outgrown their control. You've outgrown the fear of being seen, because what used to be your weakness, your rage, your intensity, your depth, your darkness, that's your superpower now. They told you to calm down. You got louder. They told you to get over it. You dug deeper. They told you to heal pretty. You healed like a damn explosion. And now they're looking at you like they don't recognize you. They shouldn't. You're not the one who used to flinch when they raised their voice. You're not the one who begged for clarity from people who only ever fed you confusion. You're not the one who used to apologize for having needs, for having standards, for simply existing too vividly. You're the one who burned all that down and walked out of the ashes unapologetically on fire. You ever notice how quiet it gets when people realize they can't manipulate you anymore? Like suddenly the phone stops ringing, the fake love evaporates, the fake laughs, the just checking in, the performance. It all vanishes. Because once you stopped bending, once you stopped playing their little emotional fetch games, once you started walking with clarity instead of desperation, you became dangerous. Not loud dangerous, not violent dangerous, solid, unshakable, unreachable. That's what terrifies them. You figured it out. You figured them out. You saw the patterns, the manipulation dressed up as concern, the passive aggression wrapped in fake smiles, the guilt trips they used to keep you in line. You saw the truth. They didn't love you. They loved your obedience. They loved your silence. They loved that you would take the hits and still come back asking, "What did I do wrong?" But not anymore. Now you just leave the room. Now you look them dead in the eye and say, "That's not mine to carry." Now you hold boundaries like knives, and you don't flinch when people bleed on them. That's the real power. Not revenge, not chaos, self-possession. When your peace becomes non-negotiable, when your energy's no longer for sale, when your presence becomes a privilege, not a default. And listen, people can't stand that shift, because deep down, they were counting on you never waking up, never rising, never reclaiming the parts of yourself they tried to gaslight into non-existence. They were hoping you'd stay confused, that you'd keep doubting yourself, that you'd keep spinning in circles while they fed off your insecurity. But you got still, you got sharp, you got quiet, and then you got dangerous. And now they see it. Now they feel it. Now they say things like, "You've changed," as if that's not the damn point. Of course you changed. You had to mutate just to survive. You had to bury the soft parts and rebuild in armor. You had to stop asking for understanding and start demanding respect. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. People don't fear your darkness. They fear that you're finally comfortable in it. You're not running from it. You're not trying to fix it. You're not putting on some sparkly mask to make it palatable. You wear it. And that kind of self-acceptance, that kind of, this is who I am, take it or get crushed under it energy. That's what shakes people. Not your past, not your pain, not your mistakes. It's that you own them. It's that you own yourself now. No filter, no apology, no softening. So yeah, they found out who you are. And no, it ain't pretty. It's complex. It's layered. It's loud. It's scarred. It's messy. But it's real. And if that makes people uncomfortable, let them squirm. You ever realize how some people weren't afraid of losing you? They were afraid of you finding yourself. Because the second you started piecing it all together, the pain, the silence, the patterns, the manipulation, they felt it. That shift. That moment you stopped shrinking to fit the room. That moment your voice got heavier, your stare got colder, and your energy started speaking before your mouth even opened. They felt it, and it scared the hell out of them. See, when people have you convinced that you're the problem, they can control you. When they've got you doubting yourself, begging for clarity, bending over backwards for scraps of validation, they know exactly how to keep you in line. But when you finally wake up and say, nah, that's manipulation, that's projection, that's not love, that's control. When you stop over-explaining, when you stop making excuses for other people's cruelty, when you stop entertaining the same fake apologies and recycled chaos, oh, now you're the villain? Now you're too much? Now you're hard to deal with? No. You're just done playing dumb to survive in fake peace. You're done dressing your intelligence up as ignorance just to protect someone's ego. You're done biting your tongue while people throw daggers and call it joking. You're done keeping yourself digestible for people who'd spit you out the second you showed real strength. And now they see it. Now they're watching you walk different, talk different, move different, because you've tasted your own power and you're never going back. You didn't just survive them, you outgrew them, and that's what's really got them shook. 'Cause it's not just that they found out who you are, it's that they no longer have access to it. The version of you they once controlled, dead, buried, unreachable. Now, they're left with a version they can't read, can't manipulate, can't guilt trip into submission. You became the thing they swore you'd never be. Free. Free from the lies. Easy now. Slow your breathing. Feel that hum in the air? That's not paranoia. That's your name, vibrating through rooms you've never stepped into. They're not sleeping, not because of what you did, but because of what you didn't explain. Somewhere tonight, grown adults are replaying conversations frame by frame, whispering your name like it's a classified leak. They're not asking what you're doing, they're asking who you're with. Because moves like yours don't happen in isolation. Moves like yours smell like backing, like protection, like a shadow nobody can see but everyone feels. And that's the part that broke them. You didn't announce alliances, you didn't flex connections, you didn't posture, you just moved differently. And now their brains are burning trying to map the source. Here's the paradox they can't swallow. You look calm, almost gentle, but the ripple you caused is violent. You smile like a saint, but the outcome feels like a psychopath planned it. You don't threaten, you don't brag, you don't warn. Yet everyone's nervous system is screaming something isn't right. That's power. See, loud people reveal their network. Weak minds name drop. Desperate ones over-explain. But you You let silence do the flexing. You let absence become evidence. You let ambiguity turn into a weapon. Now they're stuck in a mental prison of their own design, pacing back and forth, asking the same question in different voices. Who's behind this? Who's backing you? Who did you tap? And the answer terrifies them most, because it's possible the answer is no one. That's when the fear spikes. Because if you're not protected by a group, then you're protected by something worse, yourself. You've lived long enough in the dark to understand how light gives away position. You learned early that saints who survive have demon-level restraint, and demons who win know when to look harmless. Pain taught you timing. Betrayal taught you silence. Loneliness taught you how to move without witnesses. They don't see the years you spent sharpening perception, while everyone else chased validation. They don't see the nights where you were dissected, underestimated, ignored, where you learned how humans leak information through fear, through envy, through curiosity. Now you walk into rooms and leave behind questions instead of answers, and questions spread faster than facts. Your name got too hot because it doesn't come with context anymore. That's lethal. People can handle enemies. They can handle rivals. They can even handle geniuses if the genius is predictable. What they cannot handle is an unreadable variable with momentum. Someone who doesn't react like they should. Someone whose moves don't match their face. Someone whose restraint feels intentional, not timid. You broke the pattern, and now watch what happens. They start name combining. They start mentally attaching you to power figures, invisible groups, silent operators. They assume meetings that never happened. They imagine calls that were never made, because the human mind would rather invent a conspiracy than accept the truth that one individual evolved past their control. You became a ghost with weight, and ghosts don't need permission. You carry both sides now. The angel who understands mercy, and the demon who understands leverage. You know exactly how far to push without touching the line, how to say nothing and still dominate the room. That duality makes you impossible to categorize, and what can't be categorized can't be neutralized. That's why they're losing sleep. Every time they close their eyes, your name shows up next to someone else's, someone powerful, someone dangerous, someone they don't want problems with. And even when they tell themselves it's all in their head, their body doesn't believe them. Their gut knows something shifted. The hierarchy blinked. The script glitched. You didn't just heat your name up. You removed the thermostat. Now let me tell you the quiet truth they'll never say out loud. Even if they find out who you're with, it won't help them. Because the real threat was never your connections. It was the mind that learned how to operate without needing them. You're unpredictable because you were forged in pressure. You're calm because you've already survived worse. You're strategic because pain forced you to see 10 moves ahead just to breathe. And now that version of you walks freely, unannounced, unafraid. And every system built on predictability starts to shake. So let them guess, let them spiral, let them whisper your name like it's radioactive. You don't correct rumors that work in your favor. You don't clarify power. You don't deny leverage. You let the unknown grow teeth and bite for you. Because the scariest thing in the room is never the loudest voice. It's the one everyone keeps glancing at, wondering what it knows, and who it's already spoken to. And tonight, while they're wide awake, staring at ceilings, running simulations they'll never finish, you're resting easy. Not because you're safe, but because you've already become the question they can't answer. And the longer they sit with that question, the more it mutates. At first it's curiosity, then it becomes concern, then it hardens into fear. Because curiosity asks, who are you connected to? Fear asks, what happens if you're not? They replay your tone, your timing, your restraint. They notice the absence of panic where panic should live. They notice how you never rush, never scramble, never overcorrect. That's not confidence. That's calibration. That's someone who knows exactly how much force is required and refuses to waste a drop. You don't chase outcomes. You expect them. And expectation terrifies people who live off reaction. They're used to tells, used to cracks, used to desperation leaking through posture and voice. But with you, nothing leaks. You move like someone who already accounted for loss and found it irrelevant. Like someone who already paid the price in private and now operates debt-free. That's when they start losing sleep for real. Because they realize you're not playing the same game. You're not trying to win arguments, rooms, or approval. You're reshaping gravity. You're letting situations collapse around you, while you remain oddly untouched. That makes them wonder what kind of internal architecture you built in the dark, when nobody was watching, when pain was the only instructor who stayed. You weren't molded by applause. You were carved by silence. And silence produces monsters that don't need to roar. They don't know whether to approach you, avoid you, flatter you, or neutralize you. Because each option feels risky. Friendly curiosity could expose them. Distance could signal guilt. Aggression could wake something they're not equipped to handle. So they stall, they speculate, they pace mental hallways at 3 a.m., imagining scenarios where you're 10 steps ahead. Because people who survive pressure without deforming don't just survive, they adapt. And adaptation looks like threat. You've become a walking contradiction, composed but dangerous, warm but unapproachable, restrained but overwhelming. A saint's discipline with a demon's awareness. You don't burn bridges. You let people realize too late they crossed you without knowing when. That's why your name doesn't land softly anymore. It lands like a signal flare. Every mention triggers background checks, silent DMs, half-finished theories. You've become the subject of conversations that end mid-sentence because nobody wants to be the one who said too much. They fear association with you in the same way they fear opposition. That's dominance without declaration. And here's the part they'll never admit. A piece of them respects it. A dark, quiet piece that recognizes craftsmanship when it sees it. They know this didn't happen by accident. They know something broke you open and taught you how to see beneath behavior, beneath language, beneath masks. You see motive where others see motion. You hear intent where others hear noise. That's why guessing who you're with feels urgent to them. Because if you're aligned with someone, then your actions make sense. But if you're not, then you're a free agent with evolved perception. And that's the most dangerous entity in any system. Unowned power. They don't know whether you're an angel sent to expose rot or a demon born to exploit it. And the truth? You're both. You learned mercy the hard way, and you learned cruelty by watching what mercy costs when it's naive. So now you choose, precisely, selectively, without emotional waste. You don't need to announce standards. People feel them. You don't need to threaten consequences. People anticipate them. You let the uncertainty do the work, because uncertainty forces imagination. And imagination is where fear feeds itself. They're not afraid of what you've done. They're afraid of what you haven't done yet. And every night they lie awake, staring into the dark, trying to predict a mind that learned how to weaponize patience. they feel it. The balance has shifted. The rules they relied on don't apply. The scripts they mastered don't trigger the response they expect. You don't dance when they pull strings. You cut them quietly and keep moving, so let your name stay hot. Let it glow just enough to distort vision. Let them keep guessing, connecting dots that don't exist, inventing alliances that only amplify your myth. You don't chase control. You let perception crown you. Because in the end, the most powerful position isn't being feared for what you say or do. It's being feared for what you might already know. And tonight, while they're still trying to figure out who you're with, you're already somewhere else, evolving again. And the craziest part, you didn't even try to do this. That's what keeps their minds grinding themselves raw, because they know effort has a smell, ambition leaks, hunger makes noise. But what you did came off effortless, like you simply adjusted and reality rearranged itself to keep up. That scares people who built their identity on struggle being visible. They're used to seeing the climb, the grind, the tells. They're used to measuring danger by how loud it announces itself. But you moved like someone who already finished the climb in a previous lifetime. Like someone who understands that real power doesn't spike. It settles. You don't escalate. You stabilize at a higher level. And now their nervous systems are stuck in alert mode, trying to detect a threat that doesn't behave like one. Because the most unnerving thing about you isn't aggression. It's restraint with intent. The kind that says, I know exactly what this could become, and I'm choosing not to. That choice alone puts you above them. They start questioning past interactions. Was that a test? Was that a warning? Did we miss the moment we were supposed to notice? They comb through memories, searching for the pivot point. The second where you stopped being just another name and became a variable. And they all land on the same conclusion, even if they phrase it differently. You learned something they didn't. Pain didn't make you reactive, it made you observant. Loss didn't make you bitter, it made you precise. Isolation didn't weaken you. It taught you how to operate without needing consensus. That's the evolution they can't reverse engineer. Most people are products of their environment. You became an editor of it. You stopped reacting to stimuli and started reading systems. You saw how status really moves, how influence really flows, how fear dresses itself up as morality, concern, or procedure. You watched people pretend not to notice what they absolutely noticed, and you filed that information away, quietly. So now when your name enters a room, it doesn't just enter, it disrupts calibration. People don't know how to place you on the hierarchy because you don't compete for rungs. You don't need validation, and that alone makes you unbribable, uncontrollable, and extremely difficult to predict. They can't tell if you're aligned upward, sideways, or nowhere at all. And nowhere at all is the worst option, because someone with no visible allegiance is either irrelevant or operating on a level that doesn't require permission, and your results disqualify the first option, which means they're left staring at the second, hoping it's not true. You didn't become dangerous by being louder. You became dangerous by becoming clear. Clear about what matters. Clear about what you'll tolerate. Clear about when to move and when to let people destroy themselves with their own assumptions. And assumptions are killing them right now. Every guess they make multiplies your perceived reach. Every theory they exchange deepens the myth. They don't realize it, but they're doing your work for you, inflating your shadow until it stretches further than any real connection ever could. You're not just in their thoughts, you're in their timing. They hesitate, where they used to rush. They double-check where they used to assume. They ask questions they never asked before. Not because you demanded it, but because you changed the risk profile of the room just by existing differently. That's what happens when someone integrates both sides of themselves, instead of pretending one doesn't exist. When the angel stops apologizing for the demon, and the demon stops sabotaging the angel. When discipline and instinct stop fighting and start collaborating. That fusion is rare, and rarity is destabilizing. You don't need to posture dominance when your presence introduces doubt into other people's certainty. You don't need to threaten when your silence already rewrites their internal math. They're losing sleep because sleep requires safety. And right now, they don't know where you stand, or if you even need to stand anywhere at all. So let them keep guessing. Let your name stay warm enough to burn, but not bright enough to reveal the source. Let them exhaust themselves trying to trace lines that end in fog. You're not hiding. You're just not explainable anymore. And that's the level where fear turns into respect. Respect turns into caution, and caution turns into paralysis. You didn't take their power. You made them unsure how to use it. And once that happens, the game is already over. And once paralysis sets in, everything they do starts betraying them. You notice it before they do. The hesitation in their voice, the extra politeness where arrogance used to live, the sudden need to check with someone when they used to decide on instinct. That's not maturity. That's fear wearing a professional mask. They're afraid of misstepping around you, afraid that one wrong word might confirm something they've been trying not to believe, that you're operating with awareness they don't have access to, that you're not guessing, that you're not improvising, that you're moving from a vantage point they can't see from. And what eats them alive is this: you never demanded that power. You didn't corner the room. You didn't dominate the conversation. You didn't announce a transformation. You just stopped explaining yourself. That's when everything flipped. Because explanation is how power is negotiated downward. Explanation is how permission is requested in disguise. And when you removed it, people felt the shift immediately. Not consciously, biologically. Their bodies reacted before their minds could rationalize it. You became an unknown with intent. They start wondering if you're gathering information, if you already know things they're trying to hide, if your calm is the result of leverage, timing, or foresight. They don't know whether to speed up or slow down around you, because either choice could be wrong. So they stall. And stalling is surrender. You see, systems are built to manage predictable threats, loud rebels, clear enemies, identifiable risks. What systems can't handle is someone who understands the machinery, but refuses to become a visible cog. Someone who learned how power really moves by being crushed by it once, and surviving with their perception intact. That's why your evolution feels illegal to them. You didn't get bitter. You got accurate. You didn't harden into cruelty. You refined into discernment. You didn't lose empathy. You learned where to aim it, and where not to waste it. That balance is what keeps them awake. Because cruelty alone is sloppy, and kindness alone is exploitable. But precision? Precision can't be manipulated without consequences. You are no longer a reaction. You're a constant, and constants destabilize people who rely on chaos to maintain control. They sense that you're not moved by approval or pressure, that praise doesn't inflate you, and hostility doesn't provoke you, that you've already faced the worst versions of yourself in isolation and came back integrated instead of fragmented. That terrifies manipulators. Because manipulation requires cracks. and you sealed yours with understanding. Now look at what's happening. They're monitoring instead of engaging, speculating instead of acting, asking indirect questions instead of confronting you directly. They're circling you like a problem they're afraid to solve, because solving it might confirm the truth they're trying to avoid. That you're not alone in your head anymore. You used to be divided, hope fighting instinct, morality fighting survival, light wrestling with dark. But pain forced a merger, forced you to stop pretending one side didn't exist. And once those sides stopped sabotaging each other, you became coherent, aligned, dangerously so. That's why your name doesn't just come up. It lingers. It hangs in the air after conversations end. It gets brought up late at night. When people are honest with themselves, when they're no longer performing confidence for an audience and are left alone with their intuition, whispering things they don't want to hear. They feel it. You're not done evolving. And the worst part for them is they don't know what the next version looks like. Because each version of you has required less effort and caused more impact. That trajectory doesn't make sense to people who equate force with effectiveness. But you learned the real rule. Efficiency beats intensity every time. You don't need to escalate when positioning does the work for you. You don't need to confront when presence already alters behavior. You don't need to expose when implication creates more pressure than proof ever could. So while they're losing sleep, you're gaining clarity. While they're guessing who you're with, you're refining who you are. And here's the quiet truth that seals it. The thing they almost understand, but refuse to say out loud. Even if they discovered every connection you had, every conversation you've ever held, every door you've ever touched, it wouldn't help them. Because the real shift didn't happen outside of you. It happened inside. You became someone whose mind can't be rushed, whose attention can't be hijacked, whose direction can't be easily redirected. Someone who knows when to advance, when to wait, and when to let others collapse under the weight of their own projections. Your name didn't get hot because of association. It got hot because it now represents uncontained potential with self-control. And that combination, that's what keeps them staring at the ceiling, heart racing, mind looping the same unanswered question over and over again. What happens if we misjudged them? And it's already too late. Let them sit with that. You've already moved past it.